Well, Ms. Marconato, thank you for joining us for a few minutes today to talk about your life in the classroom.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
For sure. I guess we'll start off with something probably pretty easy. What do you like about teaching in Yuma Union High School District?
What do I like? I feel like there's so many things, especially in the facet that I teach in. I get to see the kids in a completely different environment than a lot of their other teachers do. It's not just pencil and paper, but this is probably a very cliche answer. The kids are amazing. They teach me to be a better person every single day. When you think you're here to teach them, they'll be like, no, let me teach you something. So I feel like that's probably the best part.
Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned that it's not the standard, pencil to paper classroom. I know that you are required to have your students 51% of the time in a lab. Talk a little bit about what your classroom setting is like teaching agriculture science.
So as an ag teacher, again, so many different facets. Everything from the ag business side of it, so pushing numbers, doing different loans, things like that. A lot of life skills, I feel like, is a lot of our class. So we have a welding shop, we have a biotech lab, we have an outdoor gardening area that we harvest different fruits and vegetables from. This year we just added a chicken coop, which we're super excited about. So we are harvesting eggs from that. Kids are cooking them and learning food science stuff about just the safety of using food and things like that. So it's different. I would like to say that I know what's going to happen every single day, but like today we go outside and we're like, let's go check the gardens. Oh, somehow the chickens got out during the day and ate the garden. So, it's always different, but I think that's what makes it fun, and the kids kind of really shine. There are some kids who really love paper and pencil, and that's where they shine, but we have those opportunities, and then I have the kids who are like, no, do not show me a paper and a pencil. I've seen it 5 other class periods today. So then they get to go in the lab, do science experiments, use microscopes. I do a lot of discovery and kind of on their own. I give them what the end product is, and I don't care how they get there. So if they want to draw, if they want to create something online, if they want to do a project, whatever it might be, I try and really give student choice in that, because I feel like this is a class where they can do that, and I want them to be able to.
What kind of supports are in place for you as a teacher from the school and maybe from the district as well?
Thankfully, our campus is full of resources, and the district as well. They are always willing to send us off to trainings or kind of whatever we see fit. It's not like them saying, hey, we found this, we think it would be great. They also do that, but it's like, I remember I brought something up to them and I was like, hey, I think I should go to this. Like, look at how cool this is. I could do this. And they're like, sure, here you go. Sent me off to it. Didn't even blink an eye. And it was, the trainings I go to, some of them are 10 to 14 days long up in the middle of the summer. So they have to get me hotels, that doesn't even, they are worried about our experiences just as worried they are about the kids' experiences. And I think that says a lot about the district. It's not just like, we don't care what the teachers do. We don't care how much you guys break your back. We just want the kids to excel. They want us to excel. And even if that does mean at some point leaving the district, they just want us to be equipped with whatever it takes. So I think they care about us more as people than as just educators, which I really enjoy, because we get burnt out. There's times where I'm like, I don't want to go to the same trainings every single summer. So when I find something new, they don't just shut it down because it's out of the norm.
Coming from industry, what was that like early on for you to get up to speed with how to do things like classroom management and things like that? What was that like for you?
So I'll never forget when I got this job. I had come from a feedlot, so I worked with more cows than people. So I was not like, I fully didn't realize what decision I had just made until my first day of school when those kids walked in. And I remember asking my IL then, Miss K, I was like, so Miss K, like, you gonna be there with me on the first day? And she's like, no. And I was like, I have to teach these kids by myself on the first day. She's like, you'll do great. You're a great people person. It'll be fine. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I was terrified, because all I had thought about when I took the job was my love for ag and spreading that love. Not so much, I'm going to have 30 high school kids in my class at one time that I'm in charge of, and they look to me to ask if they can go to the bathroom, if they can sharpen their pencil, all these things. And I just hadn't really fully realized the depth of that. And so now that I'm into it, again, they showed me lesson plans, because I had never made a lesson plan. I didn't know what that was. I had a Canvas, but I had a Canvas because I was just a college student using a Canvas, not because I knew how to run one. So they were really good about sitting down. Throughout the summer, they sat down with me, helped me lesson plan. They got me with the other teachers in my PLC to kind of just get me on the right track, because they don't want you to fail. I don't think that is even an option. Kind of like in my class, I'm like, that's not an option. Like, F's, those don't exist, because we will not get one. We are going to work till you don't. And so I feel like that's how it is. In a way, I was a student, I feel like is the best way to put it. My first year teaching, I felt like a student, because they were teaching me all these things and I was having to absorb it and then regurgitate it to the kids, but in a different format. And as an industry member, you come in with an alternative certification. So I got to do a lot of Premier Series courses. and being sent off to do those and doing them online and stuff. We do classroom management, we do lesson planning ones, rubric making, all of those things that us industry people are lacking because we didn't go the traditional education route. Those got me up to speed super quick.
I guess one of the other appeals to people coming into education is that the salary structure has been improving, that there are robust benefit options.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the appeal of that and how that maybe influenced your decision to become a teacher?
So again, as coming from industry, I had to obviously weigh my options, like, is this where I need to be? As far as, I was getting ready to be a newlywed, there was a lot of life changes happening, so I needed to make sure, it wasn't just me anymore, it was my family. So I had to make sure this was something that was going to support me in the long run. And salary was great. I didn't have, considering the hours that we worked to the salary made, it's a great salary. Coming from industry, I was used to 2 a.m. calls on a Sunday morning of needing to go fix something. So just the joy of I walk out on a Friday and I can leave my work at work and I get to go home and enjoy my life that I've built, that was super enticing to me because I felt like that was where I struggled with my previous job. And the benefits as far as insurance is amazing. I remember calling my mom because I'm 20, I don't know anything about insurance. I'm like, hey mom, I got this insurance. What? She's like, those are amazing benefits. Arizona State retirement, all of those things I think are super enticing. I don't see anyone that would think they weren't. But that was a huge selling point because not only was I going to talk about something I love, but I was going to be compensated for it well and able to live a life outside of a career.
Do you feel like there are some of those fringe benefits as well? I know in CTE, for example, you're overseeing a career and technical student organization, but you get compensation in addition to your base salary for that kind of thing. Do you think that the district encourages that sort of involvement?
Definitely. So CTSO involvement, we get compensated for, even CTE lab cleanup, lab setup, things like that. Anytime I'm after contract hours, I'm able to track my time and submit it for my supplemental pay. And there's never been an hour I don't feel that I've worked that I've been uncompensated for. Most of the time, the trips we go on that are outside are my own decision. I'm not told you have to go to these trips. They're like, here's these trips if you'd like to go. But because I'm appreciated in so many other facets, I don't mind if I do need to do something outside my means, because to me it's for the kids. I don't really care. I could probably get paid close to nothing and I'd still do it because seeing the look on those kids' faces when they go to Tucson for the first time and they see an indoor mall and they're like, oh my gosh. Or these 2-story malls, escalators. I have kids who've never been on escalators and they go on them. So those things to me outweigh any amount of pay that I could ever get, but they do a very well job at ensuring that we are happy in that area of it, especially with, like you said, the CTE supplemental, all that stuff. Everything we do, yes, it's extra, but we get paid for it at some point. So it's not really extra, it's still just kind of part of the job.
So, last question is, let's say somebody that you used to work with in industry, or a student that was thinking about making a transition from a career into teaching or something like that, maybe following in your pathway. And they asked you, why should I come be a teacher? Why should I work for Yuma Union? What would you tell them?
It's funny that you say that because I actually have a friend from my past industry life that I've been trying to get into Yuma Union in a position because I'm like, you will love it, because we kind of struggled with the same thing. So I'm like, please, I always tell her, come to the dark side. I'm like, come to the dark side, come to the classroom, you'll love it. She's like, I don't know if I can. But I usually just tell them that it basically gives yourself a whole new outlook on life, I guess, is the way to look at it. And again, these kids just come here because they're told and they're like, oh, I gotta go to school. But I'm like, I don't think they realize the impact that they're making on us. And I tell my friends this all the time. They're like, well, why do you do it? Like, you seem so tired. You're on another field trip. Why do you do it? And I'm like, I don't think I could picture my life not doing it anymore. Honestly, they make you feel so comfortable, so welcomed. I've never had a teacher that I've called and then be like, I'm not helping you. They're always willing to help. Even the district people, there's a lot of times, working in a corporate kind of environment previously, you didn't talk to the higher ups. It was kind of like, if you didn't hear from them, it was a good thing. You don't poke the bear. If they need you, you probably aren't happy that they need you. But here, I don't even blink an eye at calling my director or blink an eye at calling someone at the district office for help. So it's just the sense of family and the sense of being, but across so many different facets. Like every day I run into somebody and I'm like, oh, hey, I sat next to you at one seminar, or I sat next to you here, and people across the state have become friends with. So again, I just couldn't imagine my life without it. So I tell everybody, give it a try. I can't even tell you how many times I've told somebody, you should come teach with me. You should become a teacher. It's fun. And they're like, you're a teacher? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know how it happened either, but I'm here and I love it. So I really don't have anything bad to say, to be completely honest. And again, I know it's cliche because you're like, oh yeah, they're videoing you. Of course you're going to say great things. But my mom tells me all the time, you are so much happier than I've ever seen you before. And I think a lot of it is just because there's days where I just sit there and shake my head at these children, and then there's other days where I go home and I can't stop smiling and telling my husband about all the great things that these kids have done, or them making these realizations. So just knowing that even though it may just be a year and they may forget about me 10 years from now, I will guarantee you I will probably never forget one of the kids I've had, because they've all given me something to improve upon myself, or showed me a different way to look at things, or how to fix or how to help or work with the next kid who's like them and I didn't understand before. So they're all very forgiving, and so I try and have that community in my classroom that if I'm forgiving to you, you should be forgiving to me. I'm a human, I make mistakes, I may wake up on the wrong side of the bed just like you do, but we all can bounce back from it and work together to have a good environment.
You're all kind of learning from each other.
Exactly. That's like, I always say that we're coworkers. The first day of school, I tell them I'm from industry. This is like a job. This is like, we're treating this like a work environment. We're coworkers. I can't be a teacher without students. Students can't be students without a teacher. So it's not I'm a teacher and you're a student, so you're going to do all these things that I don't want to do. If we're out there picking weeds, I'm picking weeds with you. You know, I try and give that we're all equal, so we're going to work together, not I'm telling you so you should do it. It's let's do this together.